Andrew and I grew up loving Mexico, and when we met in the 90s, we often talked about how someday we needed to get a place somewhere in Mexico. So we started looking at various possibilities, and we came to San Miguel de Allende in 2011 for the first time. We found our house after 2 days of looking, and then embarked on a major remodel. The house had been built in the 18th century as a tannery. The building became a house over the 19th and 20th centuries in different forms and expanded at different moments, mostly awkwardly. And when we bought it, what really drew us was the location, the size of the property, and the 3 majestic jacaranda trees that dominate the garden. The house, because it wasn't an 18th century house, had no old details that were interesting. It was pretty much white boxes inside, a blank slate that we could do whatever, and because the craftsmen here work today the same way they've worked for centuries, using the same materials and the same techniques, we were able to create an interior that feels as if it's a few hundred years old, but is essentially completely brand new.
It's so crazy because I'm forgetting when I'm indoors and when I'm outdoors here because the temperature is so seamless.
Right.
And the flow, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm outside, I'm inside. It's kind of the ultimate indoor-outdoor space that I've ever seen.
Pretty much all year. It stays that way. And one thing I love is that this was the living room when we bought the house. And for the first 10 years, it was our dining room. And then Andrew realized during COVID that he was missing the party. So we just built the new kitchen here with lots of room to sit and eat and talk, and it goes right to the outdoor living room.
With its own fireplace.
And the outdoor dining room.
Crazy,
and
amazing.
So,
and the bar is right over there. It's all just kind of happening right here.
Exactly.
I have to say that the third host in this house are the lighting fixtures. They, besides the both, you two are the hosts with the most, but their presence is very strong and very impressive and dramatic. And each one has its own personality. And they just make, this one is one of the first ones that you see when you walk in, and it's so extraordinary.
So that's why we make dozens of light fixtures in our collection, which we sell in showrooms across the country.
I just want to ask, did Andrew actually make this himself, or did he design it and then you fulfilled his imagination?
We both made it with our hands.
Really?
Yeah.
How long did it take?
Well, Andrew likes to say it took 3 years because the work was spread out over 3 years, but if you actually sat down to try to do it, it would probably take one person full-time 2 months.
I love that about the both of you, that you're so actively creative. I love that you're, on your phone and you're doing all your design work all over the world, but you're so very present here in San Miguel. You're very much committed and loving this way of life. And then as Stacy and I were getting breakfast and roaming around this morning, there was Andrew working away making jewelry, which we saw yesterday in your shop down the street, of which I bought some earrings. And it's all just kind of happening all the time in this wonderful, fluid way.
When we started thinking of a palette for the house, no matter what we looked at, we came back to blue and white. And somehow for me and Andrew, Mexico has always felt like blue and white was the thing. So we've incorporated lots of blue and white from other parts of the world, like textiles from Turkey, from Thailand, from Italy, blue and white export porcelain from China, but it all works together with the blue and white tiles in the bathrooms, the blue glass tiles in the pool and the jacuzzi, and we went with more neutral colors in the outside areas to work with all the limestone that is the background of the house. But we've really loved living with a blue and white palette running through the rooms and tying it all together. For the furniture, we used a lot of pieces that we designed and had made locally, and a lot of pieces that we had from our many years together. So when we go through the house, between the artwork that we've collected and the pieces of furniture that we either inherited or bought on travels around the world, it feels like walking back in time through our lives together, and the history that we feel tracks through the rooms makes it very special for us.
This is such a spectacular piece. I'm feeling the custom vibe.
It was definitely custom.
Yes.
So we made it to hide the television and the air conditioning.
Incredibly clever.
So for this room, we rarely use the TV, but when you want it, it pulls out and
Oh, it does.
and it hides. So that's nice.
And it's such, there's the scale of this piece really fits the drama of this house. I mean, you could never have found this just randomly.
No.
But it
And
looks like you did.
it's also great because these air conditioning units are not the prettiest things. So when we can hide them, we like to. So the master bathroom is one of my favorite spaces, and it was very complicated because we couldn't add windows on the front of the house for UNESCO. We had really limited square footage, and our program was complicated because we wanted sinks that were not side by side.
Wait, why not side by side?
Because really, who wants to brush their teeth next to somebody
That's so
else?
true. I
right?
know, yet every hotel, it's always side by side.
And not a plus.
So
Not a
from
plus.
here on in, let the records reflect.
Sinks opposite.
Okay.
And then I need a big tub because I love a hot soak.
Me too.
And we wanted a full-size shower and a toilet with a door. So we
So shower, toilet.
right. And every space has its own skylight that's ventilated since we didn't have windows. So there are 5 skylights with air and light moving through all the time.
Well, the light in here is very magical, and it took me a couple of passes walking by here before I noticed the extraordinary domed ceiling.
Exactly, which was made here in place without a form by incredible artisans who just throw one brick up and pop it in with nothing holding it up.
Now, did you do it for getting the light? Is that why you made it into a dome, or what is this? What?
Well, this chandelier is also the tub filler.
What?
So-
No way. Okay, I'm standing back. Okay. This is ingenious.
Kind of crazy. Wouldn't meet code in the US, but here it was no problem.
I mean, look at this. Every moment of every bathroom here is tiled to every inch of its life in beauty. The hardware, the creativity. I mean, I would never want. How many bathrooms are there in this house? Because I keep
7.
discovering them. 7, and they're all amazing.
Thank you. We had a lot of fun. This one is so odd because you come down 5 steps to get into it. But because we were building on the front of the house, and UNESCO is so concerned about everything you can see from the street, and I think it's fun. I mean, you have to pay attention when you're walking in and out, but it's charming.
Also, what's interesting about all the bathrooms is so many of them have a blue and white theme, yet they're all just a little bit different. You didn't worry about each one has to be a different mood and color and pattern.
No.
So they feel unified, but it's fun discovering them because, again, look at your hardware that you've chosen here for the towel rack. And
So this is all local cast bronze. which is pretty charming. And I have to say, the reason we stuck with different versions of blue and white for all the bathrooms was we didn't want it to feel like a decorator showcase. We didn't want it to feel like everyone did a different flavor in every room to stand out. Susanna, I don't know if you know what these are, but it's a collection of 18th and 19th century Japanese water droppers for calligraphy. I inherited most of them from my late friend Henry Isaacs, and then added a few as I went along. So in my office I have a collection of boxes that I love, and one is this Mexican box made out of slices of onyx that's really cool, and I love how it goes with this antique Japanese lacquer, and Andrew's bronze paperweight, which he calls his forget-me-not. And then there's a local craftsman that makes pewter boxes with whatever you'd like, and I had these two beautiful fossil stones that I didn't know what to do with, so I love that I get to see them here. And then an antique silver box, and I just use these for business cards. So the drops on the chandeliers are paper mache, which are made by women who don't have childcare, who can work at home.
Women here.
Here in San Miguel. And it's a material that's typically used to make dolls and masks. And we have repurposed it and turned it around to make decorative objects.
That's fantastic.
And here we
jewelry.
Yeah, we combine it with rock crystal.
What? For sconce.
Yeah. So what he does is he weaves this cotton cording and then 24 karat gilds it and attaches semi-precious gems. So they're not expensive, they're super lightweight. I mean, feel how light these are.
Oh, because they look.
These are pesos naturally, not.
Yeah, I was like, are we talking dollars?
No, and then this is the sterling.
Don't miss another video visit. Click on the orange Q to subscribe and have Quintessence virtually delivered from our doorstep to yours.